filmmaking. Her films have aired on Lifetime, PBS, and in film festivals around the globe. She's a technology lover and a frequent keynote speaker, and has been interviewed by the press around the globe. I think one of the most important things, though, is she does currently advise 15 startups. So, again, a very esteemed member to be on our panel. Please welcome Porter Gale. And with that, to kind of kick things off, we're going to ask Porter to get up and share some of her insights and perspectives from those 20 years of experience that she has. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Porter.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Thanks, Jeff. It's an honor to be here. I'm going to go over to the podium right now so I can put my little wow down. 20 years. So when they said, talk about your first 20 years, I started thinking about let's talk about my dad, my mom. I was born in Minnesota. But it's actually really relative because my dad was an entrepreneur. He would sit in the basement. He had a blueprint machine and he would draw things, and his claim to fame was that he invented the snowblower. It's called the Toro snowblower, and so I was around entrepreneurs from the age of, just born. Because of that, I always had a passion for it, and when I was talking to people today, I walked around and I was talking to all the people here that are competing and a lot of other people. There is something that entrepreneurialism starts at home. It starts with a family. It's something that you have inside of you. I talked to some of the groups. There were a father and son. There were wives or husbands who were here supporting them. It's really something that is inside of you where you actually can't not do it, right? So what I want to talk about is what has been changing in the world in terms of business and passion and some of the things that I think are really, really important in terms of entrepreneurialism. So my 20 years of business, actually my career has changed a lot. I started in advertising, but what I've seen in the last 20 years, and I know that you guys have seen this too, is that business has completely been disrupted and changed, right? Before, a lot of people were working at one organization. My grandfather stayed at Honeywell for many, many, many years. My mom was in social service for many, many, many years. Today, people are usually in 6 or 7 jobs. We have more entrepreneurs, we have incubators, we have startups. It's a completely different ecosystem, and the reason is that there are less barriers to entry. We've got technology that has completely changed the landscape. A couple interesting facts about technology and how it's changed things. I'm sure you guys can relate to this. 97% of people hold a smartphone in their hand. It's always within 3 feet of them. This is not my smartphone, but it might as well be, right? What happens when you start getting away from that technology? You get a little bit of heart palpitations, right? Yeah, withdrawal systems. But that is a significant change because it's changed how things are distributed. It's changed how people connect. And it's changed how we are connected in the world. In the past, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, you guys heard that phrase? That was actually a true state. You know how many degrees apart we are now? 3.2. In fact, when I walked in, you came up to me and you said, I know your old boss. Yeah. Brian, who's here in the front row, we must know like 50 people in common. There's tons of people that I know here in common. Brian, didn't you just say that you have somebody here from high school or somebody that lived down the street?
Yeah, a long time
right?
friend.
So we're all connected. So the change in technology, the change in how the world is connected, this is changing how business is done. Another key thing that I want you to think about with all those connections, for the marketers and the people that are, the entrepreneurs and the business executives, remember that purchase cycle, that funnel? It was awareness, interest, decision, action. That classic funnel for the people that went to marketing classes. How many of you, right? They was AIDA, AIDA. That funnel was created 1890. 1890. So that funnel is actually not a funnel anymore. It's a loop, and it's a loop that is filled with conversations, and it's filled by digital. It's filled by social media. It's filled by our Twitter folks. It's filled by what people are saying about your product and saying about your business. And so that change has actually had a dramatic impact on entrepreneurialism too, because in the past, when you were starting a business, you could either go on a price model, where I want to have a business that is price-based and the lowest price, or you can do something that is a brand, something that has an emotion, something that connects. And now, because of word of mouth and social, the brand play, and when you're connecting with people, sparking that conversation, things can change overnight. So a couple stories that I just want to share with you. One is Virgin America. Thank you for mentioning that I was the launch CMO there. It was a very exciting time. It's now a public airline, right? It's a public company. How many of you have flown on us? It doesn't fly here to Virginia Beach, but some of you have. It's a disruptive player in the airline industry, right? They're public now, but they were started in 2004. So I want you to think about it. They just went public this last year. So what I want you to think about is that businesses sometimes take time, right? So don't leave before the miracle. Think about what the roadblocks are. For Virgin America, they started in 2004. We didn't get to fly until 2007. So it took us 3 or 4 years to get wheels up. But what happened after that, because there was this extreme focus on product and experience, and there was also a lot of focus, it's a very simple mission. This one, when you're an airline flyer, do you think it would be hard to implement, create an airline that people love? Right? It sounds like a crazy statement, right? How many of you love your airline? Anybody love your airline? You do, a couple? Right? Well, at the time, that seemed crazy, but disruption now is the name of the game. We see it in categories after categories after categories. We've got Airbnb, we've got Instacart, we've got Uber. Disruption is happening faster and faster because of the conversations, because of the word of mouth, because of the advocacy and the passion. So with your businesses, what I want you to think about is, are you focused? Are you passionate? You really feel that inside of yourself. Are you disrupting a category? And are you connecting? Another company that I have the great fortune to work with is called Hint Water. I'm not sure if they're distributed here, but I want to just talk a little bit about Hint Water. The reason is because it's a water company, it's a beverage that just has an essence of fruit in it. There's no sugar in it. But the founder, Kara, the CEO, it started at her kitchen table. She was a Diet Coke addict, and she was raising 4 kids. Any of you know Hint Water? Yeah, a couple, right? Okay. So she's raising these 4 kids, and it started because she wanted to have a healthier household. And so she brought her idea to a lot of the big beverage companies, Coca-Cola and Pepsi, and they said, you could never do it. No one's ever going to drink that product. People like our sugary sweet stuff, it's never going to happen. And they actually said, sweetie, that's what they call her, sweetie, you're never going to get this business off the ground. And that was her rallying cry, was her motivator. So now 6 years later, she is the #1 beverage at Google. They go through about 3 or 4 truckloads a day. She's in hospitals and schools across the country, and she's creating a new category. So for the entrepreneurs in the audience, what I want you to think about is, if you're focused, and if you really, really put the intention in and think about things in a smart, focused way, amazing results can happen. The last thing that I wanted you to think about today is that sometimes when you come to events like this, at least I do, I'm like, what am I going to get out of it? What can I learn? I want you to actually shift your focus a little bit, and I want you to think about, how can I help someone else in the room, right? I'm a huge believer in network principles. That's why I wrote the book about networking and connecting. And one of the most important things that I have found is that success actually comes from helping other people. I'm sure you've seen that in your businesses. And so when you're hearing the presentations tonight, and when you're talking to people outside networking and connecting, maybe think about not just what you're getting out of it, but maybe there's a contact that you can give to someone that's here that's pitching. Maybe there's an idea that you can give to someone. And remember that these ideas that our great companies are bringing to light tonight are like the babies. It's their passion. So let's listen to them, let's support them, and recognize that as a community, we really can do great things together. So my Twitter handle is @PorterGale. I would love to hear from you later on if you have any questions. My background and expertise is marketing and working with startups. I do work with 15 startups right now with the CEOs and the CMOs. So don't be shy. Feel free to ask me any question, and know that I am honored and thrilled to be here tonight. So thank you for being here.